Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a quite extraordinary car actually. This is a Honda Civic 1.6 SE Plus diesel, so nothing out of the world there, but this car's a 2014 car with just 16,000 miles on the clock. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. It's a little bit early in the morning, so it makes the car look a bit dull in terms of colour. It isn't. It is a beautiful colour on this car. It looks absolutely stunning, and seen in the flesh, and that's what you have to do. You kind of appreciate it. Front of the car kit there is in beautiful condition. Lights and lenses obviously clear and intact. Bottom of the car just wonderfully clean. We'll come down the near side first, and it's absolutely indentation free. Near side front alloy in beautiful condition. Brand new tyres, by the way, fitted all around on the car. It's not because the others were worn out, but obviously over the years the sidewalls have gone dry and slightly cracked, just with age. So it was almost criminal to take them off because they had so much tread left, but that's by the by. Okay, the back of the car, again, very clean indeed. Off side of the car, driver's side, as with the near side, just wonderfully clean on the panel right there. As you'd expect, given the mileage, the exterior of the car is in absolutely lovely condition. There will be the odd tiny little mark here or there, even on a car that mileage, but I mean, it is in just gorgeous condition. If the outside was good, the interior is borderline ridiculous. The boot literally looks like it's never been used, and it's just virtually zero sign of wear. And again, the video doesn't really do it justice. The carpeted areas just look unblemished. It's incredible. Likewise, coming to the back of the car, door cards just look brand new. It doesn't look as though the back of the car in reality has ever really been used. It is just astonishing back here. As I said, the video cannot do justice to just how fresh and clean the interior looks. Coming to the front again, door card on the side, wonderful condition. And passenger seats, again, hardly been sat on. Coming to the driver's door card, again, all really good. This is the only part of the interior that I can really see. There's a little bit there where obviously someone's ring or bracelets just caught on the plastic, but it's got to be kept. I mean, the originality is really important, but it is ludicrously clean inside the car. So we're inside the car now with the engine running, and it really is literally like it's just come straight off the production line. So crisp with the plastics inside here on the dashboard. I'll just come up here, hopefully you can see 16,304 miles, and there's no warning lights on the car at all. If I put the car into reverse, get that lovely clear parking camera all working exactly as it should. But it is really exceptional in here. I did see, again, I'm just trying to think of anything at all, just a couple of tiny little marks just there. But I'm being sort of ridiculously nitpicking, honestly. It's doesn't detract. I mean, and that dashboard, I mean, my goodness me, it still is absolutely fantastic. Finally, just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack and lock wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a road test video, and one I've been very much looking forward to doing actually. This is for a Honda Civic 1.6 SE Plus. The car is registered, if I can find it, sorry, VK14AKJ, with a mileage of just 16,289 miles. I mean, it is incredible. The reason we do these videos is very simple indeed. We basically want anyone that's looking online at our cars to see the cars we're advertising actually in operation. The reason we feel it's important is, as I always say, very simple. We know to our cost how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look perfectly good in the photographs and in the description, but only to get there and find out it's got a fundamental issue which you'd much rather know about before setting off. So hence that's why we do it. We also do it on these very quiet country roads very close to our premises, and the reason for that is hopefully then it'd be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, I mean, the history is astonishing. Obviously full Honda history all the way through. Such low mileage, you'd expect and hope it to be good, and it certainly is. Engine starts instantly and settles to an absolutely even and smooth idle. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be. And no warning lights on the dashboard at all, of course, related to the engine or any other part of the car for that matter. The engines are brilliant units. It's one of those engines that is really pleasant to use day in, day out, but also one that actually gives the economy that the manufacturers claim, relatively easily. Too many cars these days, they can just about do it if you really kind of nurture them. But this is a car that you could drive relatively normally and still get very high economy figures. And I've owned loads of these 1.6 diesels, and even doing my short trips I was always high 50s, early 60s to the gallon. Longer trips I'd be exceeding 70. So it is, as I said, a car that you're eminently capable of getting them, and as I said, you don't have to be sort of nursing the car along to do it. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox, and again, as you'd expect with the mileage, clutch is perfect, bite points, actuation, absolutely spot on. Gearbox is absolutely sensational on these cars. All Honda cars, front-wheel drive cars pretty much, have the gear lever here connected to the gearbox underneath by a cable, which is the modern way of doing it. That also means, unfortunately, with lots of manufacturers, that the gear changes can feel kind of lifeless and light and vague, all things I pretty much hate in gearboxes. But Honda make a real point of making sure that the actuation of all what they call their primary controls has a feeling of sort of substance and mechanical solidity to it, and the gearbox is exactly the same. It's just got a wonderful actuation. It feels as though the gear lever is going straight into a gearbox, or you'd be convinced it is, but it isn't, and that feels absolutely as new to operate. Steering on the car, again, just fantastic. It's quick, it's fluid, it's accurate, it's precise, it works perfectly with the chassis. It's just a wonderful power steering setup, and it makes the car feel lovely and secure and solid on the road. The whole feeling is you feel completely engaged with the driving of the vehicle. It's a wonderful setup. It obviously tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. As I said, when working with the chassis, because the chassis is superb, it gives you the best of both worlds. It's really agile, it loves going through corners, it kind of devours them, it maintains a lovely posture for the body, and the damping, the body control, really well kept in check. But the flip side is it's very, very comfortable as well. Only the very sharpest ridges will catch it, as with any car out, but it's wonderful. Whilst driving, obviously I'm just listening out for any kind of mechanical noises underneath the vehicle. It shouldn't actually be there, and there's absolutely nothing at all. It's all absolutely spot on. Brakes, by the way, I mean, they're perfect, of course. Just touch the brakes, they've got a lovely feel to them. So just swing around here. There's no pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal at all, so all in absolutely perfect order. So coming inside, the car has literally just arrived. Normally speaking, I'd be sort of making excuses for the fact that obviously it's not clean in here or doesn't need much of a clean. I mean, it feels like I'm sat in a car that's just rolled off the production line. The freshness to the plastics is absolutely superb. Only a little bit of wear on the driver's side here, where sort of rings, I guess, has caught it over the years. But that's it. I'm being mega critical, by the way, so don't think, because the rest of it just it's astonishing, and beautifully put together. Of course, there's no squeaks, no rattles, nothing at all. and then you're faced with this just sensational dash design. Still looks so fresh, it really does, and it works brilliantly because not only is it pleasing to the eye, in my opinion, and it is only opinion, but it works brilliantly in terms of controls, the ergonomics, etc. The most conventional part, the center section, is simplicity itself. You've got this huge radio, which I love. It's just so simple to operate. Down below that, we've got dual zone climate control system offering slightly different temperatures side to side, and that's pumping out absolutely ice cold air, by the way. But then my favourite part, this two-tier design in front of me. Up high, we've got an information pod which doubles up as a reverse parking camera. But if you change anything like the radio or fan speed or heater settings, the readout is down there, but it's also up there, much bigger, which means that you're not having to look into the bowels of the car to take that information in. But my favourite part, as always, is the digital speedo, just set there by itself. So clear and easy to take the information in. It's absolutely fantastic. And what I love it because it looks good. I mean, it seems to be hovering there. I mean, it's like this really wonderful way it's done. But what it means is you can keep your eyes on the road, pedestrians, cyclists, whatever, at all times, but also at the corner of your eye, clearly see what speed you're running at. So, I mean, it's genius in the way it's presented, and I keep saying it in these videos, it's to Honda's shame, and it really is, that in the 10th generation, the next one, they decided to put that down into a more conventional pod underneath, and it defeats the object, because it's then surrounded by other information, whereas at the moment you just look at it and that's it. You just take that information in, which I think is superb. Hopefully Honda will see fit to change it again in years to come. Down below that, you've got a more conventional pod of 3 dials, big rev counter in the middle, flanked either side by the temperature and fuel gauges. Steering wheel, by the way, again, just feels absolutely as new to hold, and it's the perfect size steering wheel. It's thick rimmed, leather bound, feels absolutely fantastic. It's just perfect. It just put your hands on it and immediately feels nice in hand. It really is superb. As I said at the start of the video, I mean, it's pretty obvious before we set out that the car is going to be good with that mileage on the car, and it doesn't disappoint. It's probably less than half the price that it was when it was new, but effectively, to all intents and purposes, it's a car that's not even close to being run in. That's just the parking sensors, by the way. Having said that, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.